cuteness of the family, and now you look at them demonic-like, and everybody's life seems to be falling apart. Let's go down the line.
This federal RICO, though, on KK and Chris. Ooh. The federal RICO I'm about to drop on Chris and Kim is about to be crazy. So Kim and Chloe was my sister's assistants. They stole $600,000 to $800,000 off my mom's credit card and Brandy's credit card.
To do what?
Kim was doing closets. They didn't have any money. All that's a lie. They worked for Brandy. Brandy said, go shopping for me.
After years of Wendy Williams being locked up in a conservatorship she had no business being in, she's back again. And this time, she's exposing the hell out of Kim Kardashian for her alleged ties to cartels all around America. If you were wondering why the Kardashians were launching new businesses every week, only to have them disappear after a few months, well, Wendy is claiming that all those businesses were cover-ups to launder the dirty money they've been receiving from these cartels. Apparently, they have a cut in the washed money, and that's really how they're making their money. The crazy thing is that folks have been speculating about it for a while now, but it wasn't until the recent mess with Kakalina being found in a shipment belonging to her. Okay, so this entire situation goes all the way back to September 2025, when a Polish truck driver, Jakub Jan Konkel, was transporting a trailer carrying 28 pallets of SKIMS clothing from the Netherlands to England, with Kakalina stashed up inside. When the truck arrived at the port of Harwich, UK Border Force officers found 90 concealed packages of cocaine with a street value of roughly £7.2 million hidden near the rear trailer doors. Apparently, the investigators found the truck had been specially adapted to hide the substances. Jakub made an unexplained 16-minute stop before reaching the port, and it's believed that's when the stuff was allegedly loaded in. He initially denied knowing about the substances, but later pleaded guilty, admitting he agreed to transport it in exchange for $5,200. And this isn't even the first time Kim's name has been attached to something involving hard substances. Multiple clips from a 2018 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians started making the rounds again, and in it, Kim openly admitted to having a serious dependency on substances, saying she was so deep into it that she was still using even when she got married.
I got married on ecstasy. I had no idea. No, the first time. I did ecstasy once and I got married. I did it again. I made a sex tape, like everything bad would happen.
You were high on ecstasy when you had that tape?
Absolutely. Everyone knows it. Like my jaw was shaking. So I went to a women's prison, CIW, and I sat in a room like this. And this one girl was like, my boyfriend had me go get drugs or pick something up at this apartment. And I didn't know that like some shit was gonna go down and someone died and like these crazy stories. And I thought to myself, oh my God, one time my friend had me go pick up like ecstasy at this apartment. And like, what if something happened? And I was like, I literally thought that. And
so Elwood's right.
And no, I'm being serious though. Like I was like, what? I don't want to name names. I'm getting myself in trouble here.
And then there was the 2017 Snapchat situation. A video surfaced showing what appeared to be a white powder in the frame, and to this day, a lot of people are still convinced that what they saw was exactly what it looked like. Now the thing is, people were not that surprised to see Kim in this mess because it isn't the first time she has been caught up in some illegal mess like this. Back when she was working as Brandy's personal stylist, she got sued by Brandy's mom, Sonia Norwood, for maxing out credit cards. Even though Kim was working for Brandy, the credit card she was using to shop for Brandy belonged to Sonia. And baby, Sonia wasn't having it when she found out Kim was stealing. The lawsuit alleged Kim then passed the card number to her siblings Khloe, Kourtney, and Robert Jr., who used it to make unauthorized purchases, including shopping trips at Dash and Smooch, the Kardashians' own stores, totaling over $120,636. Sonia Norwood said, "After Ray J and Brandy urged me not to file criminal charges because of their prior friendship, I decided to allow the Kardashians to resolve this matter without a lawsuit. When the fraudulent charges were brought to their attention, they apologized profusely and advised us through their attorneys that they would pay the debt in full. However, they have since reneged on that promise."
So Kim and Chloe was my sister's assistants. They stole $600,000 to $800,000 off my mom's credit card and Brandy's credit card.
To do what?
Kim was doing closets. They didn't have any money. All that's a lie. They worked for Brandy. Brandy said, go shopping for me. They swiped the card and get Brandy 3 or 4 Jimmy Choo shoes or whatever, or clothes or whatever, and then they'll get themselves like 4 or 5 shoes too. over and over for months and months and months until it ran up to like almost $1 million. Then my mom gave them the card. My mom don't spend money. My mom is very frugal. They spent like 100 bands on her card running it up. They thought my mom spent like Brandy spent and stole all their money, bro.
And while we are on the topic of Ray J exposing Kim's fraudulent behavior, let's get into all that stuff he said about the police building a RICO case against her. You see, at the time that he said this, folks thought he was just talking out his behind because he was still salty about her throwing him under the bus after that explicit tape of him blowing her back out leaked. But with her allegedly being linked to cartel operations now, it looks like he wasn't lying. So apparently, the feds discovered her illegal operations with these cartels years ago, specifically when they discovered that shady church Kris Jenner opened. It turns out the church was actually the first business they were using to wash all that dirty cartel money. But once it became too much, they moved it to her businesses, specifically SKIMS. This is supposedly why SKIMS is estimated to be valued around $4 billion. That's just money she made from selling underwear. It might also be some of that washed money. Oh, but it gets even wilder, y'all. In case you're somehow still out of the loop about this shady church Kim and her mama been running, it all goes back to 2008, when Kris started her own church called the California Community Church. According to reports, they branded it as some non-profit charity, but members still gotta pay a whole $1,000 a month just to stay in the club. You cannot make this up. If it's really an NGO, why are you charging $1,000 a month for folks to join and stay members? Right from the jump, you could already tell this so-called church wasn't set up for Jesus, and it gets worse. On top of that $1,000 monthly fee, members are also expected to drop an extra 10% of their income as tithe. Apparently, this is just a slick way for all the Kardashian Jenner sisters and a bunch of other celebs in the church to get a fat tax write-off. When Kim and them pay these so-called tithes, the money goes right back in the family pocket since Kris owns the church. But they still get to write it off like they're donating to some real charity. This is next-level criminal activity. It got so bad that back in 2012, the church, then called Life Change Community Church, got hit with a tax lien for $1,601 in unpaid taxes from October 2010 to June 2011. A few days later, they got slapped with another one for $2,293, including interest and penalties. And a lot of people actually don't know this, but in June 2021, Kim was under investigation for crypto fraud, which she actually admitted to just to not end up in prison. It all went down when she posted about Ethereum Max tokens on Instagram, framing it as a tip from her friends, not a paid ad. The SEC found she was paid $250K by Ethereum Max to make that post, but failed to disclose to her 225+ million followers that it was an ad. She agreed to pay $1.26 million in penalties, disgorgement, and interest, and agreed not to promote any crypto for 3 years. And of course, there are also all those allegations linking her to Epstein Island. Kim was among roughly 300 celebrities and public figures whose names appear at least once in the Epstein files. A victim complaint submitted in connection with the Ghislaine Maxwell case alleged that Maxwell had a close relationship with the Kardashian sisters and that they assisted in the use of the complainant's identity. The filing references allegations around the complainant's eggs being used in pregnancies, possible surrogacy and fertility exploitation, identity competition tied to children, a cosmetics transaction referencing Kylie Jenner, and a reported $600 million deal, and alleged financial fraud involving the Kardashian brand. Khloe and Kendall were named as having special interest in the complainant's marriages and name changes. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Even before all this mess came out, Wendy Williams seemingly tried to tell us what the Kardashians were getting up to behind the scenes, but everyone was too busy thinking she was a hater, when the whole time she was just trying to tell us that there's more to Kim and her family than just them being reality TV stars. And it looks like that hasn't charged much because word on the street is, Wendy thinks the allegations about Kim being linked to the cartel are true. Apparently, she never believed that Kim is a billionaire solely because of her underwear, and she is actually rooting for the FBI to finally build that RICO case against her so she's thrown in prison. One person said, "Anyone who thinks that they are not involved needs to take a serious look at the Kardashians and their associates who they hang out with. Just because they pay people to take responsibility for their side businesses does not mean that they are not involved." Another person said, "He could have used any other truck. Why a truck carrying her SKIMS product? The family is involved in trafficking, plain and simple. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Wendy Williams coming out to expose Kim Kardashian after all these years? And do you really think Kim and her family are really as dirty as people are making it seem? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch other very messy video.